When the mechanic comes out and runs through your repair estimate with a pen like this, you know your car is going to be just fine. Hello everyone. Today let's talk about EDC, everyday carry pens. There's a lot of videos here on YouTube about what makes a good everyday carry pen. And everyone has their own arguments for what makes their choice the best. A popular choice is one like this, all stainless steel Parker jotter, and fitted out with a Fisher Space Pen refill, or I guess whatever refill you choose, and durable and reliable will make a good everyday carry pen. That's certainly fine. Nothing wrong with a Parker jotter. Or you may choose more off the rack at your local office supply store. This S-Gel from Sharpie. This in the metal bodied version. Perfectly fine pen. Relatively new on the market. Relative in terms of since the invention of the ballpoint pen. But why don't we look at pens that have actually survived in the wild, that have stood the test of time, as it were. For your everyday carry, I want to make a case for the humble, promotional, retractable ballpoint pen. This pen here, advertising Champion spark plugs, was in some mechanic's pocket or tool cabinet for decades, undoubtedly, and never failed to perform. I can't imagine they would hang on to it if it wasn't doing its job, and has survived and still continues to function to this day. If you are a automobile owner of a certain age, you will know that when you go into a mechanic shop, into a garage, take the car in for regular maintenance or for some scary noise emanating from the engine or the suspension, you walk into the bay where they have your car up on a lift. The mechanic comes around with a greasy pad of paper and he's gesturing using a pen just like this at the list of suggested repairs and estimates. He may get you to climb under the car and he'll point up at the suspension or the exhaust or something with this pen, and his grubby, greasy fingers are all over this pen, and he may use this pen to pry open the box maybe where the air filter is, or to reach into the engine area and retrieve a 10 millimeter socket. This is a pen that is built to work, handed out free by the folks at Champion, given out at garages and mechanic shops all over this country. There's probably millions of these pens, or ones very much like it, and they have stood the test of time, being pulled in and out of the pocket of the local mechanic, thrown into his tool cabinet with the sockets and wrenches and things of that character, handled in environments that included a lot of caustic chemicals. This pen is a survivor, and I can't imagine any scenario you might find yourself in where this pen will not perform admirably. Of course, Champion isn't the only one who does that. Imagine this Wix Filters pen, very similar, cheaply made, relatively, I'm sure, but somebody probably named Wayne or Gary in a garage somewhere in the middle of America 22 years ago, in a shipment of air filters from Wix, this pen came free. He took a liking to it, stuck it in his pocket, the pocket that has a patch sewn on with the name Wayne or Gary or something of that character, Todd, and it has been his go-to pen for a couple of decades now and continues to function perfectly no matter what abuse he puts it through. Several different companies were making these. Of course, the Bic Click is kind of famous for promotional pens. This one is from a company called Tucker. What was the Champion? Do I know? That one is also from Tucker. Here we have an even cheaper version. We've got, looks like a vinyl or plastic knock on top pusher from Frank's Garage in Lancaster, PA. Wonder if Frank's is still there. I'll have to ask somebody that lives in that area. Hint, hint. But Frank's has even a cheaper, doesn't have the high-class chrome midsection that bubbles out. It's got just a simple sleeve rather than the contoured Champion here, and a vinyl pusher rather than chromed. But again, somebody ordered these for their garage and probably used it in suboptimal conditions for decades and still functioning perfectly. Another somewhat related example maybe. This one says on the clip, UPS. You remember the days when you'd get a package from UPS? The driver would hop out, doesn't even have to open the door because there is none on the brown truck, hops out, has a clipboard with shipping papers on it, and has you sign with a pen. He's going to pull out of his brown uniform a pen like this, very similar to the U.S. government, the infamous, famous, legendary U.S. government Skillcraft pen. But UPS fella pulls that out, has you sign on paper to accept delivery of the package. Day after month after week after year, continues to perform. That's a survivor and one worth considering for your everyday carry pen. It's not just a blue collar thing. Here's a IBM, probably cradled in a plastic pocket protector. Some IBM employee, their prized IBM blue pen in the traditional IBM blue. The maker here, it looks like it says Rui, which is a pencil manufacturer. I didn't realize they made pens, but there you go. Boy, it's hard to focus on that. R-U-W-E. I think it's pronounced Rui. So I assume the same company that makes the pencils. Here we go, for IBM. Got lots of IBM graphite pencils that were used for scanning cards. A particular type of graphite used for that purpose. But when you're thinking of your everyday carry pen, something to stick in your pocket, think of one that has been stuck in a pocket and pulled out in greasy, hot, rough conditions in a garage, a mechanic shop, or an office, or on the road. Something that has proved its worth, its durability, its reliability over the decades. Look at your average throwaway, quote, throwaway, because they never were, retractable ballpoint pens advertising some product or business. Probably a worthwhile choice, will last possibly as long as your jotter and less likely to be stolen. Let's see how this Champion pen performs. So when you go to the garage and your mechanic comes out and uses a pen like this to gesture, you know you're going to be taken care of. This is a guy that stands by the axiom, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's using a pen that was given to him free with a purchase of air filters from Wix, and it works fine. He's not needing to upgrade to the premium high performance imported, I guess imported now, made in France usually. But the old standby continues to work. He's not going to upsell you on the latest thing. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. There you go. Something for you to consider in your everyday carry. Tuck it in your pocket. It works for Wayne. It works for Gary and Todd. It'll work for you. Pretty much guaranteed. Thanks for watching this video. Hope to see you here again next time.